The libertarian experiment has now officially failed in Chile, the country of Chile, the South American country. The Chileans have now once and for all said, see you later, sayonara, hasta la vista, baby, to the religion of Reaganomics. Because tomorrow, Michelle Bachelet, an open socialist, is going to take office as the president of Chile. Now, this is a big deal for her. It's a great personal achievement. She was president before, from 2006 to 2010, a 4-year term. But Chile's constitution says that a president can't serve more than one term. So she couldn't run in 2009. And so this guy, Sebastian Pinera, won, and he's actually a right-winger. So Bachelet now gets this rare opportunity to be president twice in 2 different times. The only time this has happened in the United States, by the way, was when Grover Cleveland got reelected after, he was elected and then he left office and was replaced by a Republican. And he was the only Democrat actually to be elected in the last half of the 19th century. And he was elected twice. So, but anyhow, but for Chileans, Bachelet's inauguration is about more than just, personal glory. It's about finally putting to rest this brutal legacy of General Augusto Pinochet. Pinochet, it's putting to rest his Chicago School of Economics. I pointed this out back in December when Bachelet was first elected back, just to go back into the story. In the early 70s, Chile was one of the most progressive countries in South America. The democratically elected socialist president, Salvador Allende, had nationalized big business, gave every Chilean access to free health care, free higher education, GDP went up, income inequality went down, life was good. But not everybody was happy with President Allende's 1970s Chilean version of the New Deal. Behind his back, the Nixon administration and the fat cats in the military and the corporate fat cats in Chile, the billionaires basically, were conspiring to sabotage his reforms and to destroy his economy. Now, when he took over, he had a country that was already kind of a basket case. They needed some foreign loans to survive, and so Nixon got the IMF to say, no, we won't loan you the money. That decimated his economy. It stunted the progress he'd made over the first few years in office. And this U.S.-backed sabotage campaign turned into outright treason on September 11th. Yep, 9/11, 1973, when, with CIA help and corporate help, General Augusto Pinochet overthrew Allende's government and ushered in 17 years of military rule. During those 17 years, from 73 to 80, Pinochet's dictatorship was one of the most vicious in the history of Latin America. They jailed people, they tortured people, they killed people, they threw people out of helicopters into the ocean, the death squads took people into the National Soccer Stadium in Santiago, where they were killed by firing squads. In fact, people have such a strong memory of this time that a lot of Chileans refuse to watch soccer matches in the National Stadium because they don't want to dishonor the general's victims, the people who were murdered there. And, of course, he didn't just use the government to silence dissent. The whole point of the coup in the first place was to protect the economic interests of the Chilean elite, to protect them from Salvador Allende's socialism. And so, hey, you're going to protect rich people? Who do you turn to? Milton Friedman. He literally brought Milton Friedman down to Chile, along with a bunch of his Chicago boys. They called them the Chicago School Boys. And the Chicago School Boys slashed government spending, privatized industries, and started harsh austerity measures. They did exactly what Paul Ryan says we should do. Privatize Social Security. It was a disaster. In the crash of 2016, I wrote about this, and here's what I had to say. Inflation reached as high as 341%. GDP decreased by 15%. Chile's trade deficit ballooned a whopping $280 million. Unemployment went from 3% to 10%. And in some parts of the country climbed as high as 22%. So by 1990, Chile had returned to democracy, and Pinochet's experiment with libertarian economics was just a lasting but painful memory. But inequality was still high. Many Chileans don't have access to affordable education. And that's why the presidency of Michelle Bachelet is so important. She lived through the Pinochet regime. She was actually detained and tortured in the 1970s. She saw firsthand the damage that Pinochet and Milton Friedman and his libertarian buddies did to Chile, and now she wants to change it. She is saying healthcare and education should be rights, not privileges. She wants to raise taxes on the rich, and she wants to make education and healthcare free for all. I mean, this is a big deal. A BFD, as they say. In fact, the Washington Post over the weekend published an interview with Michelle Bachelet, Chile's incoming president. And let me just give you some quotes from her. They said, "You want to change the electoral system?" She said, "There's no other place in the world where a system like this exists that does not truly represent what the majority of the people want." Well, actually, Michelle, there is. It's here in the United States. Anyhow, she said, "We need to go to a different kind of electoral system. Also, we need to ensure that women and men have the same salaries." Whoa! You want that in the Constitution? She says, yes, we need to ensure that the Constitution is written so there's no possibility to discriminate against women. She talks about, what happened when she was when she was 21. And she says, I was 21. What happened was the minute the Secret Service guys came to my home, this is under Pinochet, telephone rang. It was my boyfriend. We had a special code to say danger, and so I told him. People who were leaving the country immediately started campaigning for us, and that's why I didn't disappear. We were expelled from the country. We went to Australia. My brother lived there, but I really needed to be a part of the fight for democracy. So she moved to East Germany. She said, I moved to Germany because my political party was there, the Socialist Party. I lived in Potsdam. It was a good experience. She studied German. She was a medical student. She got married in Germany, came back with her mother, her son, and her husband. Had to study medicine all over again. Now she's a pediatrician. She says she's going to take the corporate tax from 20% up to 25%. She said, yes, the corporate tax. We're also going to fight strongly against tax evasion and loopholes. We're going to do a lot of things in terms of improving the capacity to collect taxes. And we're going to have green taxes. Whoever contaminates more has to pay more. Free education. She says, in Chile, we feel there is the right to a free education and free health care. It is not left or right. People who define themselves as moderates and centrists feel that the right of education and health is something that should be the basis of our society. It's remarkable. They ask her, what's going on in Venezuela? Aren't you worried about that? See, in Venezuela, you've got, a very aggressive right-wing media that is trying to raise hell. So we'll see. We'll see how Bachelet does. She's 62. She's young. There's a lot that she can do. I wish her the very best. Michelle Bachelet, good luck. You become president tomorrow.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
And the net of this, of course, is that, she's repudiating Reaganomics. Maybe we should think about doing the same thing.